All right. So, what is going on, everybody? Everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to the show. You already know what that show is. It's sitting up there at the top of the screen. It's the one, the only, the best show in the universe everywhere. The Backpool Sports Podcast. What's your man, Fonz?
And Quan.
Oh, man. You got a frog in your throat, my boy. Nah. Hey, man. Look, I don't know what's going around.
I've been struggling.
Yes, sir. But man, I don't know what's going on. I know week before last, I'm in here. Uncle Earl punched me in the stomach.
Yeah, man.
Then it was like bombs over Baghdad every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
Good God.
I don't know what's going on either. I just know what's going on.
That's about it. You know, got to get your vitamins and nutrients up. You know, I got to do the same thing. You know. Yes, but yeah, welcome to the show, y'all. And before we go ahead and get started, because we got a good show this episode. If you're in the neighborhood, how about hop on Facebook and join the Backpool Sports Podcast War Room. Again, that's our spot. That's where we at. We're always there. Come and join us and everything. And also, if our content is good for you, if you like what we're doing, or you just want to be a support, please subscribe to the channel. It'll help us out. I promise you, it'll help us out. You will not regret it. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the topic. And we got a kind of a two-parter. So we've had the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game on this past Sunday. So we're going to start there. We'll start with the NFC Championship first.
Yeah.
Fly Eagles fly. First of all, they ain't had the daggone ramrod the Commanders like that. They ain't had to do them boys like that, but
I'm telling you, boy, they did them dirty.
Did them dirty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Eagles offense really, honestly, throughout the year, I thought it was kind of overrated. But seeing what they done with the opportunities that they had on offense, I must say, this is going to be an interesting Super Bowl game. And it started off, and speaking of the offense started off with a bang. So let's talk about the Washington offense, because that's going to segue into the Eagles offense for a second. So Washington had a nice drive. They went forward on fourth down a few times on their first drive. 3 points. I think it was an 18-play drive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think it lasted about 7 minutes, and they got 3 out the deal. But soon as the Eagles get the ball, Saquon is out of there. Saquon 60-some yards to the crib.
18-second score.
18-second score. I mean, hats off to the Philadelphia Eagles, though. I mean, defensively, let's talk about a defense. First of all, Vic Fangio, hats off to that guy. I'm not a Vic Fangio fan after what he said when he was the coach of the Denver Broncos, but I must say, the way the Eagles defense played physical and disciplined football. Keyword discipline.
Right.
Keyword is discipline. They gave Jaden Daniels a lot of different looks in coverage, and he mixed blitzes here and there. But like I said, they played solid, disciplined football. And then I went to the Philadelphia Eagles website just to see, what they said about it. And they got this thing called the Crush Rush. I mean, it worked. It worked, But again, hats off to Jaden Daniels. Everything that they threw at him, even though they lost, but a lot of times everything that they threw at him, he stayed poised. That's something you don't see from a rookie quarterback. And that turnover margin, Washington
Totally lost that.
Washington lost the turnover margin. Philly had 4 turnovers, 3 on defense, and 1 on the kickoff return, and all of it equal 28 points. They got 28 points alone off turnovers.
Right.
Speaking of Saquon and the whole team as a unit, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and Shipley out there, 7 rushing touchdowns.
Crazy.
Saquon said it best. They out to prove that you can run the ball down their throat
Mm-hmm.
and win a Super Bowl off that. What I like about the Philadelphia Eagles, and then when you could chime in on it when you know, but I like about how the Eagles won was that they play old school football. It was like early 2000s, late 90s, mid to late 90s football to me, and I kind of like that. I hated that the Commanders got blown out like that, but a lot of times they shot themselves in the foot. But you could chime in on that too, man.
Yeah. It was an experience game. I feel like yeah, the Washington Commanders, they lost the turnover battle. They was kicking field goals while the
Mm.
Eagles was scoring touchdowns. Here's what I don't understand about that first drive. It was 18 plays. I think they went for a fourth down at least like three times, and
Yeah,
they
one
was
drive.
way they was in Eagles territory. I mean, obviously they kicked the field goal and they made it. I believe the field goal was from about the 35.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would have kept going for it. At that point, I mean, if you're going to go 18 plays and keep your offense on the field for over 7 minutes, I feel like why would you kick a field goal, especially knowing what you up against, knowing that the likelihood of you beating the Eagles off of field goals is highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should have continued. I mean, it would have been a great. I mean, if you didn't get the fourth down, it's still 0-0, and then that play happens with Saquon, it's 7-zip. But if you're gonna waste that much time and keeping your offense out there, just go ahead and keep going for it. I would have kept going for it. I mean, at
That's
that
what I would say.
point,
It's at home.
I believe it was let's see, 4th and 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been going for it all season. You're one of the most aggressive teams on fourth down outside of the Lions, and why not? But anyways, um, Saquon Saquon is a beast. Nobody seen this coming. It's been an experience just to watch him really revamp his career, revamp this offense.
Yeah, he was a
Um,
missing piece.
I mean, I would love to hear from the audience that gets to watch this video and tell me, because I've seen some talk about him and the expectations of Jalen Hurts and how he may be being carried by number 26.
I don't
Um,
know, man.
I don't know either. I
I
mean, I
don't
don't think
know.
so, but I mean that is a trending topic. But nevertheless, I mean, turnovers is gonna send you home, especially in the playoffs. Like I was telling another Commanders fan, he was saying, we played the Eagles before, and I was like, look, man, this playoff momentum is different. When you go to you go to Philly and you're turning over the ball and they're scoring, and it's kind of hard to get back in the game.
Right.
So that field goal, the Eagles turn around and get a touchdown, then Washington fumbles, and then Eagles get another touchdown, and then they go down and get a field goal. Um, and then Washington scores a touchdown after the Eagles missed the field goal. But mainly it was either field goals or fumbles
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Washington Commanders. Honestly, I wish the NFL would consider giving MVPs to running backs. I understand that you believe that a quarterback deserves the MVP because he's the quote unquote head and the voice of the team. But this guy, Saquon, has had an unbelievable season. Um, they believe in taking care of business early and playing through him, so that way they can just rest on the sideline. Like as you seen after Saquon has scored, I believe that third one, they went ahead and sat him down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, obviously the score told the story. Also, not wanting to put his health, at risk. But dude has had a beast of a season. I don't think I've witnessed such a dynamic season from a running back in in a long time.
Since Adrian Peterson.
So they should definitely consider that. Maybe I doubt it. But yeah, man, Jaden Daniels. I mean, as a Commander fan, I wouldn't beat myself up because you guys over succeeded. Y'all had a great season. Y'all did something that y'all haven't did in years.
Since
I
I was a
mean,
kid.
I can't even remember the last time the Commanders had this much success in my years of living and my years of watching football. Nobody thought that you guys would. I mean, of course, everybody knows that the Cowboys are trash and the Giants are, going through what they're going through. But you know, um, a lot of people did not have you guys. I know I didn't for sure. To having gone to the NFC Championship
Oh,
game.
yeah, I ain't had
I
that.
mean, I mean, a few people might have had y'all going to the playoffs or making the playoffs, but for you guys to make it this far, I feel like it's a big, thumbs up. I know the end goal, the end goal is that Lombardi, but um, you know, y'all had a great season, man. I mean, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of time in that pocket. They was on him like white on rice. And I mean, it was just a tough day to be a Commander. But I mean, with y'all played like your age group. You know what I mean? I mean, outside of Bobby Wagner, y'all a young team. You know what I
Right.
mean? So y'all made those young mistakes, and in playoffs, they tend to show who's experienced and who's not experienced. And I mean, the Eagles balled out. They took advantage of turnovers. They forced some turnovers. Um, and the best team won. I don't think um, the Super Bowl will be as well matched as it is. If the command, I mean, it would have been something to see. Of course, we want to see the rookies ball out, but I think this is one of the best Super Bowls that we've seen. I mean, that we expect to see. We don't know yet because somebody might wet the bed, but yeah, man, this game got ugly really quick, and the Eagles disrespected the Commanders. They kept scoring and scoring, and I mean, I thought the game was over when the score was doggone 41-23. I was thinking,
I thought it was.
I mean, I thought y'all was gonna sit out, but I mean, they
Oh
just
man.
kept scoring. And I think everybody knew not to allow the Commanders to loom around. I mean, because we seen them, in looming games and how they can, come back and win games. So, but man, the Eagles totally disrespected the Commanders on every level. But yeah, man, it was like I said, this game got real ugly quick. That first turnover, after that first turnover, it was like
It was all she wrote.
bloody fish and a pool full of sharks. So
Cook
it wasn't no sin and no chance of that. Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, like I could concur with that because, like, at the beginning when we was in the off season, leading up to the preseason, I did say on this platform that Washington may have something to say. I ain't think they was gonna talk big like that, to be honest with you. So I'm with you on that. Commanders fans, man, don't even hang your head down. I know it was an L, but don't hang your head on that one. As long as you got Jaden Daniels, and you start building around him, you always gonna be in the mix, guaranteed.
I mean, this offseason should be. I mean, I think they'll re-sign a lot of players back. I would hope so. I mean, especially
They got the cap room for it.
they definitely. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, man. The Commanders had a great squad. I mean, if anything, maybe beef up that defensive side of the ball just a little
Of
bit more.
course, secondary. Oh man,
Marshawn Lattimore came on a little late with the injuries and stuff. I think he should get another shot to prove himself. Um, you know, but honestly, I would not change anything about this squad. I mean, like I said, they did something that we have not seen the Washington Commanders, aka Washington Redskins, do.
Don't forget the Washington football team.
And
Don't forget
and the Washington football team do in years, man. So that, I mean, hey, Yeah, and then you lost to a divisional rival.
Yeah, this is the third time you played them, so
games like that is very tough to do. I mean, so I mean, if you would have played anybody else, I mean, first off, you went and you beat the number 1 seed. Let's start there. Hey, nobody expected the Lions to be gone so soon. You know what I mean? Yes, the defense was banged up. Yeah, they might have had got the Lions on the on the bad foot, but for the most part, man, you did your due diligence, and hey, I mean, you was one game away from the Super Bowl, so
one game away.
again next year, like all the rest of the 30 teams.
But look, I got a bold prediction for you. I feel like they're gonna be back next year in the championship game. And you said don't change anything. I got to push back just a tad bit because there's a free agent wide receiver that's on the horizon, and I feel like he'd be a perfect fit in Washington. And that man's name is T. Higgins. Watch what I say. Watch what I tell you. T. Higgins to the Washington Commanders. Watch what I tell you.
T. Higgins and Terry. That's lead.
I'm not because he was with the Bengals or whatever. I mean, I actually like T. Higgins because technically he a dog. You put T. Higgins in that offense with Jaden Daniels, with Scary Terry, with Zach Ertz.
Hey,
man, like
that's a good one. I'll
book it.
I'll be on the lookout for that. That'll be a great timing for them.
And it's crazy because even after the game, I was like, "Yo, T. Higgins will be a monster down there in DC." And I got a feeling he go to DC, but we'll see. We'll see. I hope he go to DC because I want Jaden Daniels to have the best options possible. I like Jaden Daniels. I ain't even go front with you.
Yeah, the young man poised, man. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Not too many rookie quarterbacks can handle what he has handled this season, and to take a team this far and to play in that atmosphere. I mean, yeah, you got your butt kicked, but I don't think it was nothing. I mean, that was just a butt wound waiting for you to happen. But
you went down swinging. Sometimes you won't hit nothing, but you went down swinging, and that's what I respect about the Commanders. So don't worry about the Commanders fans. The old Fonz gonna tell you, you might be back in there next year.
You might just be.
You might be at the big game. I ain't gonna say all that because I don't want to put nothing on y'all, but I feel like Washington is going to be a contender in the NFC, and we're going to see a lot of change in the NFC this coming season. So y'all just be on the lookout. But T. Higgins, I see him in DC. I don't know why, but I see him in DC. But hats off to the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't mean for this to be a Washington Commanders appreciation video, but you gotta give everybody their props, and that's what we try to do. We try to give everybody their props on this platform. But big ups to the Philadelphia Eagles. They return to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So let's talk about the AFC Championship for a minute. Big shout out to Patrick Mahomes because he won me $55 on his second touchdown run. I greatly appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah, funny, huh?
Yes, I had to go and set that parlay right quick. You feel me? But for the 5th time in 6 years, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. There's 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And they beat up on the Buffalo Bills. First of all, I looked at that game. I tried to, because I ain't gonna lie, I was hate watching. I really was. I was hate watching. And I'm looking at how Buffalo was operating. Josh Allen gets the ball. First play from scrimmage, near interception.
Yeah, he came out a little rocky.
He came out a little shaky. He was like man was shaking like I had a dollar bill in front of him. But and then on I think it was 3rd and 9 on that same drive, the ball went through a sea of Chiefs. Oh go Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen is now currently 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's the first quarterback to lose 4 consecutive games versus one team, which brings his playoff record to 7-6. Patrick Mahomes, he's really my player of that game. He scored. I mean, he did more running than I thought he was going to do. But I noticed when it comes down to the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes turns to a whole nother animal.
I mean, seriously.
And, you know, so he had 2 rushing touchdowns and added another through the air. Allen completed 22 of 34 passes, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the difference came as the Chiefs' defense stood tall on Allen's quarterback sneaks. Let's talk about those sneaks for a second, and not the ones y'all thinking. Let's talk about that Buffalo Bills tush push.
At the one, was it at the one, or was it at like
the one that was? I think they was going for 2.
Oh, okay.
If Tony Romo says Allen's going to go to the left, and the Chiefs sniff it out every time, why do you keep doing that? If you would have took the point, rather, the game would have been what? 31-32. Right? We don't know what would have happened. Might have been, you might have narrowly got it, to be honest with you. You might have narrowly won it. But you remember when I was talking about John Harbaugh? Remember that? I always go back to the episode, top 5 head coaches, and I put Sean McDermott over John Harbaugh. Well, today on January 29th, 2025, I'm going to recant my entire statements about John Harbaugh. To me, Sean McDermott and John Harbaugh are the same guy. If you look at that Buffalo Bills game and look at the divisional round games between the Ravens and the Bills the week before, they were eerily similar. The Buffalo Bills started panicking. And I'm like, no, don't get out your element. Keep running. If you would have gave James Cook the ball more, you probably would have won the game, to be honest with you. Because when he was running, he was running. They wasn't stopping the run. They were stopping the run a little bit, but they wasn't stopping it like that. 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Come on, man. But that pass to Mac Hollins, the one that he wound up on like the 2-yard line, that was a thing of beauty. I ain't gonna front with him.
He threw a few dots out there.
He threw more than a few dots. But I'm gonna tell you who I think is gonna be crazy come next year, and that's that doggone Xavier Worthy. This man got the speed and the hands. I don't know what Hollywood Brown was doing out there, but he get a participation. He get to go to the Super Bowl just like Kenny Pickett going to the Super Bowl. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But let's talk about the Chiefs defense. That's the Chiefs defense. They've been good for a while. Sneaky good, to be honest with you.
At least for the past 2 years.
I can really give you about the past 5 years. They've been pretty good. They faced the number 2 scoring offense, made numerous plays on Sunday that helped secure the victory. Yes, they did. What I like what they did is that they didn't blitz much during the game. They waited to that last drive to send their patented blitz. Shout out to Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator. He knows when to do it. And when he does it, they 98% of the time get home or disrupt the play. Those 2-point conversion attempts midway through the game, that's not good. Even the Bills, they did get 12 unanswered points on both sides of halftime, but due to those failed attempts, Buffalo possessed a 1-point lead entering the fourth quarter. You got to understand something. The Chiefs have now won 17 consecutive one-score games in a row. You cannot hang around. If you get your foot on the gas early, you keep your foot on the gas till the fat lady starts singing. Overall, the Chiefs pressured Allen on 16 of his dropbacks. And on those pressures, Allen completed just 4 of 13 passes. Mm. Mm. You can take it, man. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, like you said,
But go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll get to that one shortly.
um, I tell you, like you said, there's only a few things guaranteed. Making it to the Super Bowl is definitely one. One that some is tired of seeing, which I can definitely understand. For me personally, I don't know. I despise the Patriots. I did. I I'm still upset about the Jesse James touchdown that I felt like we was cheated out of for the number one seed
That was years ago.
in 2017. That was 5 years ago, and I'm still messed up about it. And I despised everything about the Patriots. And people would ask me, you should respect Brady and Belichick and all that jazz, because they're the greatest of all time and da 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 da. But for some reason, I respect this current dynasty that the Kansas City Chiefs is having more than I do with the New England Patriots for various reasons.
Hmm.
But this guy Mahomes, number 15, is just a complete dog. He's a different animal. Him, Andy Reid, and Steve is they work so well together. But like you said, man, this game was I feel like one of the most exciting games. I feel like this matchup between these two is always exciting and fun to watch because the dynamic, excuse me, of the two quarterbacks that's
Mhm.
playing. Just like if Lamar Jackson was playing or any of those quarterbacks between Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, any of those three that face Mahomes, it's always fun to watch. Just because they're very dynamic quarterbacks. Like you said, this game started off a little rocky. I ain't gonna lie. Game could have probably been over a little earlier.
Could have been over in the
So,
first quarter.
those he threw two passes that could have been picked off. I believe one of them was probably could have been picked off due, got tipped.
I know the first one hit the defender darn near in the chest. The
Right.
defender just didn't have no hands. The second one, I think that was the one that was on 3rd and 9. That was the one that was tipped. And two Chiefs players, either one of them could have made that play.
Yeah. So it started off a little rocky, but honestly, all I can say is, well, first and foremost, I want to talk about that interception that they gave Kansas.
Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Before
I
you go anywhere, let me give you the rule before you go anywhere with that. The NFL rule states that if it's simultaneous possession, it automatically goes to the offense. But go ahead.
yeah, that's a bunch of bull.
To me, it looked like a pick.
I feel like that particular play either was an incomplete or a pick for Buffalo.
Mm.
But nevertheless, they ruled it a catch for Worthy. I think that was Xavier, and that led to a touchdown. But if you go back to the end of the second, I believe
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the score was 22-21. And Buffalo had just scored that touchdown to make that so. And they forced Kansas to a punt. They forced them to a punt, and I believe that's when they had tried that Buffalo tush push mess, and they called it short. Which some argue that it was a first down, some argue that it won't.
Talking about the one where Josh Allen, his back was to the side, Judge.
Uh-huh.
And
And the
now
ball was to his chest. Yeah,
I seen an angle of it. If they show the angle where it's like right at the back of Josh Allen's head, I could have sworn the ball went over the first down marker.
yeah. I mean, I feel like it. I mean, those type of calls are very close calls because I mean, they showed so many different angles of it, and the angle that I have seen of it was he was actually a smidge behind the line.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could have
At the further review, yeah.
they ain't even measure it though. Typically, you know what happened to the NFL. You know this replay system that they got.
Mm-hmm.
They done got away from the morals of football because you know they would have brung out the chains and at
Oh
least
yeah.
came out there and did that or did something. You know what I mean? Referees don't do nothing but hope for replay assists.
But what was weird? What was weird about that play? I didn't mean to cut you off, but what was weird about that play is that the side judge on Buffalo's side was like first down. They got it. But the one that came from Kansas City side was like, nah, bro. I'm like, wait a minute.
But I mean, honestly, all I can say about this game is that it just sucks to be anybody but number 15. Honestly, this is a guy that owns so many quarterbacks. I mean, Josh Allen is 4-1 against this guy in the regular season. He can beat Mahomes
in the playoffs.
But when it comes to the playoffs, it's just something that getting in his way. And honestly, I feel like he played a great game. He didn't, even though he came out a little shaky in the first quarter, he didn't turn over the ball. He accounted for 2 touchdown passes. I mean, threw for over 237 yards. I feel like he played a decent game that he could have beat anybody else. Anybody else. He probably would have won this game. But I mean, he scored almost 30 points. He scored almost 30 points. And still managed to lose to Mahomes, man. I mean, it's just it's crazy. I mean, honestly, the only thing I put on Josh Allen is that last drive. That very last drive. I think they gave him over if I think it was like 2 minutes left, I believe.
No, he got the ball. It was at the 3:33 mark.
3.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go do it. You gotta
do it. If you was an MVP favorite, you got to go do it. I don't feel sorry for Josh Allen because you had more times than anybody else in the AFC to go against the king of the AFC, and each time you went against the king of the AFC, you got knocked on your arse. So I can't. There's no excuse. There's no excuse of Buffalo. There's no excuse a Buffalo Bills fan could give me right now.
I mean,
the only quarterback in the AFC that broke through
was Joe, and that
was Burrow,
and that was just one time, and he's still living on his high horse.
And he's still getting praise for that, and that's been what?
Nobody else can do it. Nobody else can seem to beat Mahomes
until somebody else do it. Joe Burrow is gonna be the dude that beat Patrick Mahomes.
Right. So, but I mean, honestly, it came down to that drive, that last drive. They gave you the ball last, Josh. You got to go down there and score. But even going back to that final drive where he got blitzed or whatever, he still managed to pick the ball in a good spot where Dalton could have caught that football. But nevertheless, I mean,
put a pin note in that one. I like that. Because
I mean, he floated that ball well. I mean, and
the ball, but see, Dalton was trying to catch with his daggone arm.
Honestly, I don't know why he was diving for the ball. I'm gonna have to go back and see it because honestly, he probably could have just sat there and caught the football.
But he did. He ran too far. He ran a little bit further down the field, so he had to come back and go get it.
Come back to the football, but
at the same time,
it's crazy. That game was good. It was really truly, it was a good football game. You know, a lot of quarterbacks did not win. For the first 8-9 years, Peyton Manning was one of them. You know, there's a few other quarterbacks that didn't win their first Super Bowl into the 8th or 9th year, and Josh,
until they was like 30.
yeah, and Josh is in his 8th year, so I think he'll be all right. But
Yeah. And then there's a lot of quarterbacks right now in the Hall of Fame that have probably been to the game once and never won.
yeah, but it really just sucks for numerous of quarterbacks, but him specifically, because I believe he's one of the quarterbacks that has played Mahomes the most in the postseason. You just got to make the important plays, those important drives, those drives where they give you the ball last. They want Josh Allen to have the ball last. You got to do something with the ball,
Yeah.
because Mahomes, he's a freak of nature, man. He's one of the best, if not the best quarterback that we have seen since Tom Brady. He's doing the most damage, and he's not even 30 years old yet, and he's already, in conversations where a lot of other quarterbacks were not at his age.
Right.
Big shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I got the utmost, respect for him. I already told y'all what happens to my black and gold in the off season. It just turned red and white. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Mahomes. I'm a fan of Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes has totally changed this franchise dynamic. Yes, they had playoff success before Patrick Mahomes got there. We know that. And Alex Smith was, pretty decent quarterback as well. But if they win this three-peat, I don't understand how people can even argue that he should be in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
It's gonna make a lot of noise for him, and it's gonna make a lot of noise for the franchise as a whole, man. They didn't even use Travis Kelce. They in a predicament. They ain't got Travis Kelce was the bread and butter to that offense. Now dude, Patrick Mahomes, he taking pay cuts, and he bringing in. But D Hop got his first Super Bowl appearance, man. He bringing power to the people, man. I'm trying to tell you, he doing it.
Say what you. There's a lot of other fans of other teams that hate on them. I'm like, man, come on, man. Like, say what you want to say about the referees and all that good stuff. I'm like this here. Ever so often, you get a dynasty. Like, we're literally just coming out the Patriots dynasty. And we're going into the Chiefs. Honestly, they deserve it because they sat for 50 years with nothing.
Honestly, the real reason why I like the Chiefs so much is because they win in different ways. You've seen it this regular season. You've seen it obviously this postseason. You've seen it last year. I was one of the people who was like, no way you just let Tyreek Hill walk. No way you just let Tyreek Hill walk and you think you're going to stand for Super Bowl. They won then.
They won a couple since he's been gone.
They doggone, they pretty was in a dogfight all 17 weeks of football. Barely winning. Barely winning.
Literally winning by the skin of their teeth.
And they get to the playoffs. Of course, they got number 1 seed, and it's crazy. They deserve it. If they go and beat the Eagles, who I feel like is a way better team than them.
Oh yeah. On paper, they better than the Chiefs.
But boy, I tell you, they messed a lot of teams up that's on paper better than them. Boy.
That's what I know. That's what I know.
It's just the brains behind it. Like I said, Andy Reid ain't. See, we won't even talk about Andy Reid when he was over there in Philly like that.
Technically, okay. Quick history. We were talking about him, especially like early 2000. They was always going to the NFC Championship game. The Donovan McNabb days and all them guys, and the big homie Brian Dawkins. He had a squad back then.
He had a squad.
Because think about it, he's running the same system he ran in Philly. He just got the quarterback to do it now.
And see, I believe that's the real difference. Number 15 is truly the difference. All his other teammates, especially on the defense side of the ball, they hold a bargain, man. But they're just a team to beat. If you want to contend, and it sucks for any good quarterback like Lamar and Josh Allen and Joe and whoever else is in the AFC, it sucks
I think that's it.
to be in a conference with bro, because you got to go through them in order to get to the Super Bowl.
And it's gonna be like that for the foreseeable future. Like
Somebody got to do it, but for right now, we got Kansas and we got the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I feel like it'll be I can't really call it right now because
it's too early.
Just looking at it from the naked eye from right now, and we a few weeks away from the Super Bowl, but just looking at it, my mind say it could be a shootout because. And the reason why I say it could be a shootout is because, for one, I feel like it's going to be somewhat of a low-scoring game between the two because Kansas defense is good and Eagles defense is good as well. I mean, and they both got their work cut out for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be somewhat of a low-scoring game, maybe.
I don't know. Because the last time they played, now this is the one without Saquon, right? The last time they played, Jalen Hurts went off. Jalen Hurts went off. He went stupid. And I've been following Jalen Hurts since Alabama and daggone Oklahoma when he transferred to Oklahoma, which is wild. Press pause. It's weird that Jalen Hurts is having a better NFL career than the quarterback that replaced him at Alabama. And that's Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, well, he got a concussion problem.
But his head stay warm. But I feel like it's going to be. I feel like the Eagles going to come with smash mouth football. That'll probably be the only way they can beat them.
I just don't know whether.
I'm gonna tell you, but go ahead. Because I'm gonna say what I respect about Philly.
I don't feel like. Okay. See, here's the thing that's tricky about Philly. See, Philly got a good run game as well as a good pass attack. And I just don't think Steve is going to let Saquon just do what he's been doing. I mean, yeah, I know all the cliche about his birthday is going to be on the same day.
I don't play in all that stuff.
And all that stuff. But I don't know, man. I mean, I know Saquon due for at least one, maybe two, but I don't know. They gonna have to come with something different for this stage.
But I seen Saquon go up against better rush defenses and make them look stupid.
Yeah, because that offensive line is for real.
It's for real, and I think that offensive line matches up well now with the Kansas City defensive line. I feel like that they're gonna play a brand of football that's fast, physical, and to the point. They're gonna play a lot of smash mouth. They're not gonna be concerned about if Kansas City go up by 7, we're gonna stop running the ball. No.
Yeah.
They gonna and I'm gonna be honest, Shipley, I thought he was just a special team dude. I mean that offensive line could block for anybody. They could block for me if they wanted to. I cannot give a score now, but it's gonna be close.
I think so too.
This is probably going to be one of the best Super Bowls we've seen in a long time.
You ain't going to just come and sit Patrick Mahomes down all different types of ways.
I mean, and even on Kansas City side, I feel like Patrick Mahomes going to turn into that postseason warrior. He's going to run. He's going to use his legs. He's going to make the passing plays when he has to. I probably can set a parlay for him for like 2 rushing touchdowns again. But but then again, I don't want him to use his legs because you're dealing with some thumpers over there in Philly.
Right.
And I don't want Mahomes to catch that one hit and he get hurt, then the game sucks.
Right.
But even though I said I'm not gonna give a prediction, I'm gonna have to do it. I think Kansas City might pull it out though, and I hate to say it. My mind is saying Kansas City, and that's why I'm speaking my mind. But my heart is saying Philly might pull the upset, and I think it's a small upset because it's Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I mean, I feel like Kansas will win the 3-peat too. But just going back to that Bills and Chiefs game, like I said, it was a great it was an entertaining game, but somebody in the AFC got to find a way to sit Patrick Mahomes down, and a lot of teams are just unfortunate when it comes down to playing Mahomes in the playoffs because he know how to win. Since he's been in the league, he's been to nothing but championship games or Super Bowls for the past
consecutively,
back to back to back to back. So all the thing he know is how to win football games. Dude is him. He's just him. There's nothing you
yeah.
can do about it. Either you like it or you don't. I'm one that like it. I'm a Mahomes fan. Hey.
I ain't got no horse in the race. So I really is like, I just want to see a good game.
See, me, I ain't got no horse in the race, but I got a horse that I go for when I see him down there running.
I get it, and I tend to prefer the old way of playing football: smash mouth, run, set up the play action, play good defense, win your game. I'm a firm believer defense still win championships. So one of those defenses is going to make the play to seal it.
All thing I gotta say, Jalen Hurts gonna go out there with that little baby arm like you did a few Super Bowls ago. You didn't even get the ball to the middle of the field. Now go out there playing that weak football, man. You gonna go home.
Quick, fast, in a hurry.
But honestly, it's a great Super Bowl match, man.
Yeah, but I think we could call it right there. I had something else to say, but I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot that Burrow was not the only quarterback in the AFC to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. The first one was Brady.
Oh shoot!
I forgot all about that one.
That don't even count, man.
Yeah, dude.
Nothing about old Brady.
I had to because somebody was gonna get in the comments like, "No, what Brady did it first." I got to appease them. But yeah, we could. Well, we can go. We can go ahead and call it, man. But everybody that's watching, let us know in the comments what you think about all that we talked about in this video. And as always, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for real. And please subscribe to the channel, especially if you feel like our content is good and you feel like we're doing a good job, or even you just really want to support this channel, which we're humbly asking to y'all to support the channel. We're almost there. I know a lot of y'all watching, but I need some more subscribers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Especially, it'll help us in the algorithm. So whenever we post a video, it'll be in your mentions. It'll be on your screen, on your TV. It'll just be there, and we appreciate it. And we thank y'all in advance. Yeah. If you're on Facebook, hit us up in the Bad Boy Sports Podcast War Room. Just going over there, get it right. And bro, you got anything else you want to add, man?
Nah, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy today, man. I'm gonna sit back and behave. I had something to say, but I changed my mind.
Yeah, I had a lot more to say, especially about Josh Allen, but I'm gonna let it slide. I ain't gonna kick a man while he down,
Call you a cowboy for that.
I'm about to say they say you less of a man if you kick a man while he down.
That's what they say.
So you gotta wait till he's standing up, then kick him down. But we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. So this has been the Bad Boy Sports Podcast with your man Fonz.
And your boy.
And we out, y'all.